Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your very first time on my channel, hi, I'm Pynx. And for all of my returners, I appreciate your continued support. But all of you, I'd like to personally welcome you into the family. I've prepared a very special selection for you today, and it will include, as you can see, different options for you to select from. So first, in case this is your first pick a card, I normally say choose what brought you into the video. Otherwise, relax. This is a safe space for your healing, information, and growth, as well as development. Take your time. I'll have the description, I'll have the timestamps in the description box. If you'd like to look at your zodiac sign or your person's, if you want to choose the crystal selections, they'll be listed under Pile 1, Pile 2, Pile 3, and Pile 4. Each of the crystal selections are accompanied by a very special oracle and tarot deck. So take a deep breath, relax, close your eyes, and when you open them, use your intuition to select what pulls you. So it's not what you're familiar with, not the number you always choose, or your favorite color, or what's pretty, even though that's okay for real. But what works when you're receiving messages from spirit is that for no reason pull that doesn't make sense when you open your eyes. I usually go for the first thing that my eye looks at. So if you're pulled to one of the selenite crystals, there you have it. If you're pulled to one of the stone selections, there you have it. Or a particular tarot deck, it all works out. If there are multiple groups that you are interested in, listen to them all. There may be multiple special messages for you. Now, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces will be included in stack group 1. I'll just say group 1. Aries, Taurus, Gemini in group 2. Cancer, Leo, Virgo in group 3. And Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius in group 4. For the crystal selection that we have today, there is Sodalite, Pyrite, Aventurine, and red Jasper. In each of your selections, I'll tell you a little bit more about the crystal. Okay? Now, if you just want spirit to choose for you and have me tell you a little bit about the stone, I can do that. Others of you, if you've made your selection, I'll meet you in your group. So check the description box if you chose Zodiac. Listen for the crystal introduction if you'd like. And if you need more time, once it's all said and done, feel free to pause the video. So, group 1. Sodalite has always been a very calming crystal for me. I used to have like a Sodalite ring, so it's like near and dear to my heart. It's also great for communication. So for some of you guys, if this is about communication, calming, clarity, you may find the necessary information in group 1. For group 2, you guys have Pyrite. And Pyrite is a stone of fire, manifesting, and more. Group 3, you guys have Aventurine. And Aventurine is also kind of like everything else, very special. It is connected to water, healing, emotional renewal, and softness. It's good for love and forgiveness as well as emotional growth. Now, group 4 with the red Jasper, it is connected to earth energy. So patience, security, a real world foundation, and it has root chakra energy for stability, protection, and grounding. All right. Pause the video if necessary. If not, we'll get started with your reading. Group 1 with the beautiful Sodalite crystal. And I did say I would go a bit more into detail, but spoiler alert, I kind of already did. Communication, truth, clarity, and logic, as well as intuition and the mind, is good for messages about decisions, speaking up, and mental clarity. Now, we're going to start off with a collective message and use the astro dice. Then we'll do the zodiac signs and then the oracle and tarot card messages, okay? I'll try to put it in the timestamps because it's a new format for us. Those of you that want to skip ahead to the oracle card reading, look in the description box for oracle group 1 if you didn't want to listen to the zodiac, okay? But then when you do that, you could miss the collective message. So I don't know. Do what you do, okay? We have Cancer, a crescent moon, 3rd. So we have, ooh, that's like double down on it. Moon in Cancer in the 3rd house. Strong Cancer energy because it's like double the moon, okay? What this means for you all is there's definitely the energy of a sensitive, emotionally intuitive, and also psychic communication placement. So some of you guys may have gifts and abilities that you'll be discovering, unpacking, using. You could have had real life experiences that kind of shocked you. Like there's your gifts and abilities, like you know things before you're supposed to know things, or just get a feel or a vibe for people before like words are even said. Okay. Now, because the moon rules Cancer, the moon is strong here. So your emotions, instincts, memories, and intuition are deeply tied to how you think, speak, write, learn, and communicate with your environment. You may communicate through feeling more than logic, and you can pick up on people's moods quite quickly, even though their tone, words, text, or silence say otherwise. Now, your mind is very receptive, so you may absorb the emotional energy around you. And in the 3rd house, there's a connection to siblings, neighbors, short trips, early education, writing, speaking, content creation, and daily thoughts and mindset. So group 1, you guys may have experiences in those areas. Now with the moon in Cancer, family stories, childhood memories, sibling connections, and emotional conversations may strongly shape you or be present in the environment. You could be a channeler, an intuitive. This is a messenger's placement. If you're coming here to discover your special gift, those could be it. You may be gifted at reading energy through words, comforting people through speech, storytelling, tarot, or spiritual messages, dream interpretation, automatic writing, and emotionally accurate readings, okay? Now, this is a beautiful thing for you because you feel what needs to be said. The shadow side of the energy, the mind can become moody, nostalgic, or emotionally overwhelmed. You may replay conversations, take words personally, or shut down when you do not feel safe. There can also be strong emotional patterns connected to siblings, the mother, or childhood communication. So keep that in mind. But the best expression is to use your voice as medicine. Write, speech, teach, read, or create from the heart. This is your intuition, but also it protects your nervous system. So I don't think you guys in group 1 could stand to be around a lot of negative energy or too much rigmarole. Okay, that's what I call it, rigmarole. So we'll sit those here and get started with your message. Now you guys have the crystal oracle, and then I'm also going to shuffle out. I'm going to get some additional cards for you. Okay. It's time to transform. You also have living your purpose. And, ooh, this is crazy. Look at it's like lighting up. Okay. This is like too crazy. I'm trying to see how I want to position it. Wow. Okay. If there's clutter, group 1, clear it. Okay. Clear any clutter. That helps. You need a breath of fresh air for some of you guys. Now, you also have Amazonite. Loosen your grip. It's time to transform. And then there may be a change of heart. You also have Amethyst. Trust your intuition. So it's like somebody could be holding on to something that your intuition is telling you. And it's like you don't have to grip at it like that. You don't have to, I want to say, feel it so deeply, but something like came out of me to say, don't say it like that. But loosening your grip, trusting your intuition, because it's time for something to change. Live your purpose and lighten up. So I feel for some of you, you have a purpose and a destiny to have like a light vibration and a really soft life. Trusting your intuition could be challenging for those of us that want to control something, especially if it's about your direction or has to do with your purpose. And Spirit says also, especially if it's none of those things. I feel like living in your purpose will keep you from things that no longer serve you. And it's just a personal message to loosen the grip. So we're going to pull some additional cards to get more messages for you, group 1. So let's see what we got that I think group 1 will like. I think we're going to go with angel messages because it literally said to loosen up or whatnot and be light and all that. So we're going to go with Oracle of Delphi as well as the Crystal Angels. All right. If I can get them opened. Now, let's start with loosening your grip. What messages does Spirit have for you there? Loosening your grip. Group 1. Okay. You have Opal. Let yourself sparkle and shine. You are guided to be bold and show your bigger than life side to the world. So I feel like if you're dimming your light for any reason, like you're trying to control something, and the let your sparkle shine came between spiritual path and be gentle with yourself. So that may be very significant for you, group 1, but don't dim your light. It says lighten up. So get even brighter, really. Now, when it comes to living your purpose, since we are talking about your path, be gentle with yourself. You've been through a lot and need time to heal and recover. So if you're really, focused, I feel like you're really focused in your direction and what you do next. I feel like you're really taking like life seriously, especially if I have, the Capricorns, Aquarius, and Pisces listening to this portion of the video. I know that all of those placements are going through significant transits that affect the 3rd house, specifically with the old things, the very deep, intimate, close to you old things, as well as like how you operate. I'll say that because it's not even about what you do when you move forward. I hear a lot about how you operate or communicate for some. May not be for everybody. Okay. We also have, it's time to transform. So what's changing? If I have anyone here that may have interest in career or finance, because malachite is a pretty green. The green connects to the heart chakra, as well as a very grounding energy for the root chakra. And some of you guys may even be pulled to group 4. But let's see what we have for malachite. Time to transform. And I'll just, if it doesn't pop out, I'll shuffle until they stop. Okay, I almost stopped. And take one off the top. Okay. The The dream weaver, we have emergence, wish, visualize, and conceive. So the dream weaver, it's like whatever you want to do. The dream weaver is someone who has the capacity to think, imagine, manifest, and have it unfold. That's really beautiful. Now, especially for my Pisces, it's time to activate. You have brighten, impact, and determine. And I know this because the who is it? The Pegasus is like a cusp energy I feel between Pisces and Aries, or like Pisces and Aquarius. I don't know, one of the two. The sword is up. There could be information or some sort of enlightenment, but you're also being given like this gift, and it's kind of like a reward. So it's a good thing. It's nothing that you have to put pressure on or put too much, emphasis on or whatever, because I feel like you're looking for something, and spirit is like things will be exposed to you. So you don't have to, and we do that because I'm Pisces as well, with Aquarius placements, and we will find things. Okay. That's a gift. So maybe that's even one of your gifts. Okay. Now there could be a relationship significance because I see two people are twins. So I don't know if that's for, the two fish, or if we got some Gemini energy here. I don't know. It is Gemini season. So it is present moment, I feel. And the wish fulfillment, something being conceived or visualized, does happen in the present moment. So that could be a special message to just kind of not be too far off into the past. Okay. Now, a seer and a dream weaver, they have similar energies. The dream weaver is emergence, and the seer is someone who sees. So I feel like those are like two tips, or for two different groups of you guys. To see you, it's like an enlightened energy. And I feel that something that could have been challenging in the past won't be. Because you guys last week had the 5 of Wands, and it literally was a totally different deck. And it had these two button heads. And I thought that was crazy because the albino, like, elks have always been seen in like folklores, movies, books as like divine ancestors. Like they pop up to, give you the go ahead. They don't say nothing, and you blink your eye, or a leaf moves and you turn around and you turn back around and gone. So it's like a sacred moment. And I'm glad to see that these two aren't button heads. Okay. And now the owl is included. So the owl could serve as, judgment, discernment, how you see things, a message or a messenger. And I feel like they come through clearly. So if I do have any readers or someone dealing with a complicated situation, you don't have to be conflicted or just overly aggressive about how you get it done. I feel like you have a gift. And so your gift is totally to not be in negative energy, especially fighting with yourself energetically or in the mind, because you have a gift to just use this, I want to say magical aspect of yourself to just see. And that seeing, I feel like, brings some sort of emergence or your power out more. So it's like a gentle thing. And I'm going to give you a tip. I have a jade bracelet that fits very snug. And so I have to like relax my hand when I take it off and put it on. And I thought that was crazy because literally it's this weird thing that I have to do, from the inside of my hand, which is like totally relax it. I can't be stiff. I can't be trying to make it smaller. You know what I mean? I can't force anything. I just literally have to like go numb and then let my bones and all that stuff in my hand like move to get it popped off. And that's how I feel about your gift or a situation that you're experiencing or could experience. Okay. Especially when it comes to how you go about completing something or how you get there. Okay. Because that was like a very positive addition from spirit to see this maze, the guardian, protect, defend, and shelter. So I feel like you're okay. Okay. Now, when we have trust your intuition, I feel that that is a special message for those of you that could be dealing with a situation. And when I say situation, I'm talking about when to let something go, a person go, when you use your gift and your ability and you feel something or you see something in a particular way, to take that as an understanding and not force anything, dig deeper, or create any sort of tension or anxiety for yourself. Okay? Because you have caretaker. Trust your intuition. And this is the end card. So we have reunite, serve, and accompany. I don't know. That's your decision. Do you reconcile? Some of you guys, there could be reconciliations of some sort. Okay. Serve, how the giving and receiving, how you're going to go about doing it, or if you're going to even do it, or using your discernment when it comes to taking care of others. And I know sometimes that can be difficult because for many reasons. I'll just say that. Accompany is like, usually it's a word. We don't have to over philosophize it. Like when someone is accompanied by, it's like, they're together, but it's like I brought you. So still there's a power dynamic. So just be mindful of that, because it could be something as simple as some of you guys that have careers that are essential workers or are caretakers and maybe dealing with situations that there's a power dynamic. Okay. That's not always easy because it's like, I'm trying to help you. All right. Now, there's something about that owl that I saw that accompanied those two elks. I feel that there's a message. I feel like the messages come through clear for you guys. So if there is any confusion or something that is complicated at the moment, if we let go of it a little bit, all right, and just there's something important about, I don't want to say focusing on yourself because, you can't tell a caretaker or a very nurturing person to do that. I've tried, and it ain't always easy. So some of you guys could be receiving a message. I'll say that. Now, this message could be through your intuition, through one of your gifts or abilities, or a person that serves as like a middle ground or a mediator of some sort. Okay. So there could be a message coming through. And for some of you, we have divine message. We have personify, stabilize, and connect. It's a calibration. So I feel that working together, there could be someone who wants to work something out. Some of you may be working together with another and maybe feeling a bit protective, or there's something you feel that you have to defend. Okay. Now for lighten up, let's see. We have preserve. So your energy should be preserved. I feel like this is a special message for those, especially caretakers, leaders, intuitives, all my magic people here. It's like you may not be able to save them all, baby. Okay. So preserving your energy may be important because there's a lot of water, there's a lot of thunder and lightning, there's a lot of smoke and clouds and mountains. That talks about emotions, challenges, unexpected situations, Uranus. Okay. Some of you, there could be a connection or an issue or situation with a Gemini and Aquarius. Okay. Spirit says Gemini. Okay. I don't know. They're coming back for something. So some of you guys may have past lovers in this Gemini season that reach out or want to communicate. Your choice. Okay. But we have Awakener where it says lighten up. And I get that, especially if you feel like you have a duty, you know what I mean? Where you want to present information or tell it how it is or whatever the case may be. A way shower, Spirit says. Maybe there's a need to kind of like lighten up because who you are, the energy you exude, the message and how you come across, what you pay attention to, it's like that affects your journey. All right. And I know exactly, what that looks like because I can see it, but it's also a sensitive thing We have aquamarine here too, because you feel like it's your purpose or your destiny to do something, but it keeps you in that environment and in that energy. So if you feel like it's your soul destiny to kind of be surrounded by a certain thing, Spirit is just looking out for you. God, Source is looking out for you and saying, you know, that affects your energy and your aura. There's an old school saying, you know, that God won't put too much on me than I can bear. But I just want to remind you that that's a saying. I haven't heard God itself come down here and say that, and neither have any of you. Okay, so just be mindful of that. We have divine life purpose. Trust the signs and your inner guidance, which are leading you to fulfillment. See, look at that. And boom. I just talked about that jade bracelet. So this is a special message. All right. The recovery of health and wellness is here. So whatever you were going through, babe, it is definitely going to be lighter roads ahead. And I love that for you, Group 1. I definitely appreciate you guys for sitting in with me today. Until next time. Capricorn, we're going to start with you. Also, Aquarius and Pisces. This is your zodiac reading for July 2026. These are also some astrology cards that were pulled out for you guys, but we're going to go over your actual horoscope first. So we're going to start with Capricorn. Relationships and home, family themes are active. Mercury retrograde in Cancer sits opposite your sign, so conversations with partners, clients, or close family may need revisiting. For love, July can bring reconnection closure or a necessary emotional conversation. So reconnection, closure, or emotional conversation. I didn't want to just say reconnection, closure, because some of y'all might stay together. Now, you may realize where you have been too guarded or where someone else has been too dependent on you. Your soul purpose this month is emotional maturity. Not everything can be solved by control, work, or distance. Some things need softness. Finances, shared money, debts, taxes, investments, inheritances, or partner income may need attention. Jupiter and Leo can expand shared resources, but Pluto opposition energy says power dynamics must be handled carefully. Now, cause and effects. Mercury retrograde in Cancer plus Jupiter opposite Pluto causes relationship and shared resource review. The effect is deeper honesty around trust, money, and emotional responsibility. For Aquarius, you're up next. Aquarius, July is powerful for you because Pluto in retrograde in Aquarius and the North Node enters Aquarius on July 26th. This is a soul level identity shift. You're shedding an old version of yourself. In love, Leo energy activates your relationship axis. Partnerships become mirrors. You may attract bold people, but Jupiter opposite Pluto can intensify power dynamics. Soul purpose is becoming more authentic, innovative, and less afraid of being different. The North Node in Aquarius says your future depends on owning your originality. For finances, money may grow through networks, tech, community, consulting, innovation, or collective projects. Avoid financial entanglements where someone tries to control your choices. Now, the cause and effects here, Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, North Node entering Aquarius causes deep identity excavation. The effect is rebirth. You stop living in the old role, okay? Now, for Pisces. Pisces, July is a month of practical healing for you. Neptune retrograde in Aries asks you to review money, self-worth, spiritual confidence, and where fantasy has blurred your boundaries. For love, you may need more clarity around emotional labor. If you've been giving too much, July asks you to rename your needs. Love becomes healthier when it becomes less vague. Soul purpose, your purpose is to turn intuition into structure. You are not losing magic by becoming practical. You are protecting it. For finances, review spending, subscriptions, debt, pricing, and emotional purchases. Work routines can improve later in the month as Leo energy emphasizes on daily discipline and service. Cause and effect. Neptune retrograde in Aries plus Saturn in Aries causes financial and self-worth reality checks. The effect is stronger boundaries and more grounded faith. Now, those are your bottom lines. We also have cardinal receptive, and midhaven. Sorry about that. It's like I'm tongue twisting. And I wanted to give you a special message there. Okay. Now, as you can see, there's a rose with the cardinal signs going in all directions. Then there's a rose with receptive that has a cup. I also see the rose accompanied by other roses. So if I had to just be an intuitive, I feel like if you start off feeling like you're being pulled in multiple directions or it's like chaos, I promise you, when you're not reactive to it and you're not the chaos, well, actually, usually not. If you are, if it's like, if the chaos is in you, and when I say that, it's like an energy. It's not actual situations. It's not, other people. It's not negative. It just feels like a lot going on within you, like having a lot on your mind at once and doing them one by one, and it's just everything's crazy. Beautiful things can come of that if you're grounded and can like handle the energy. Okay, for some of my mystics, chaos magic is a thing, and I feel like it brings for them some sort of manifestation, an offer, or something that advances them, so it's favorable. And that's why when I saw like all the roses all together, it's like you multiply something, duplicate something, or meet your tribe, your people, like a collective. All right. So cardinal, you guys may have a connection to what we talked about, Cancer and the moon in the third house, because cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorns. Okay. Cardinal signs initiate each season. Sorry. So the first day of Aries is in the spring equinox, Cancer, the summer solstice, Libra, the fall equinox, and Capricorn, the winter solstice. So Capricorn, this could be a special message for you. And I also feel like since the summer solstice was recent, there could also be a message there. Okay. Now, innovative, pioneering, trailblazing, entrepreneurial, trend-setting, and inventive, as well as active, which we talked about, especially for you, Aquarius. The shadow side is a lack of follow-through, feeling diffused, unfocused, and inattentive. So just be mindful of that, you guys. Now, with receptive polarity is associated with earth and water signs and the corresponding planets and houses. So this energy flows inward and is intuitive, restful, calm, grounded, and introspective. Now, intuitive, restful, and calm are the bright side, as well as peaceful, grounded, psychic, introspective, reflective, introverted, calm, and silent. And see, that's the best energy to kind of use with that fluctuation. It's weird because it's like one don't go with the other, and you think a person like this wouldn't be built for that, but it's like you can. And I feel like somebody who can ground themselves and get in that, it's it's a vibe. You know what I mean? If you can muster a calm inside of you while the storm is just around, like being the eye of the storm is how I can explain it. Now on the shadow side, be mindful of the shadow side energy, like inert, timid, withdrawn, insecure, stagnant, passive, or despondent. Okay, so just be mindful of the energies, because for some of us, that could be a challenge and emotionally. Okay, now with the midhaven, did I have to say it like that? Let's see what we have. Where is it? And I thought I was gonna be so lucky because the other ones just came like so quickly. The midheaven is on the cusp of the 10th house. It's the public self and how One functions in society. Ooh. So that's a message. You see how that was like boom, bam, shakalaka, right? And this one was like, it could be peaceful, but also it could be, tucking in and hiding. So just be mindful of those things, especially when it comes to the public self or how you function in society. It is involved with the career and reputation. It is how one deals with the idea of success and status. The bright side, vocation, professionalism, purpose, and social function. But on the shadow side, obsession with status, fame, money, and power, a lack of purpose, or an unfulfilling career, as well as poor reputation. So just be mindful of that, okay, for whatever that means. And I do hope that it helped. My group twos, and also Aries, Taurus, Gemini. All right. So the zodiac timestamp is also in the description box. We will start with a collective message using the Astro Dice, where I'll also go over your tarot reading with oracle cards and any channeled messages. Group 2, you also chose Pyrite, which is confidence, abundance, willpower, motivation, and often associated with money, manifestation, energy. Okay. We're going to start with your Astro Dice. Ninth house, Taurus, Venus. I like that. I mean, because why? Who don't want Taurus with Venus? Okay. So there's a special message there. I feel like with Taurus and Venus energy in that house, it's about comfort, beauty, money, stability, pleasure, values, and self-worth. I attract through peace, beauty, patience, and consistency, and knowing my worth. So, with the Taurus energy, it shows that you could want luxury, loyalty, comfort, security, predictable growth, financial or emotional stability, peace over chaos. You may move slowly in this area, but once you commit, you will build something long lasting. Venus's influence brings love, money, art, feminine energy, magnetism, pleasure, self-worth, and attraction. So this house can show you where you naturally attract blessings, but also where you may become attached, stubborn, or overly comfort seeking. Your spiritual messages here teaches you that receiving is spiritual too. You don't always have to chase. Sometimes your power is in being grounded, sensual, calm, and certain of your value. So your mantra or affirmation is, I am worthy of ease, love, beauty, and abundance. All right. Now, Taurus in the ninth house. Okay. The ninth house, I feel like the ninth house for a lot of you is like very specific. It's like where you could feel the energy the most or currently be, I guess, I don't want to say there's like a room for growth, but the transit, July, and your special message as well as your horoscope could point to that energy. So, travel, school, spirituality, religion, your belief system, long distance connections, and for some of you, even publishing, teaching, or stepping into a higher level of wisdom. And I feel like that's why the message from Venus was it's not just about materials, even if there is material gain, that spiritual gifts or spirit like gifting is also a blessing or a manifestation. So I think that that's pretty cool. It's also something about changing what you believe because life is showing you something bigger. So that's a huge message and transformation for you guys. The ninth house is standing out heavy here. So the message may be for someone who's expanding spiritually, studying something deeper, or planning travel and being guided to see life from a higher perspective. I absolutely love that. With Pyrite is amazing. Okay. So let's see what's in store for you. You got to start off with creators of the new earth. That makes a lot of sense. We'll take 3 more, and then I'm also going to add on, and I did see this, I will be adding on some oracle messages for you as well. Now you have the I am mantra, you have creators of the new earth, and you also have purpose and duty. Now, I will say with the replenish card at the bottom of the deck, something amazing is going to happen. And I feel like it's coming from the divine or your spirit group. It's coming from source. And what it does is it replenishes those that have been without. When I look at the creators of the new earth, he has like, or she has this like a shaman attire. Usually that in tarot is connected to like the hermit or just someone who's modest or on their journey. Like you have a divine purpose or a spiritual purpose. And right now, some of you may not feel like the path has been paved because you've done a lot of, it's not funny, but you've done a lot of shadow work. Because I'm like, the sun is shining through to the forest, but it only showed me the darkness for real. And I feel like if you're struggling with seeing the bright side, having trouble that could be blocking manifestations, it feels like gratitude or looking at something at a higher, like a higher perspective could be helpful because we're shining lights on the shadows. Maybe you've done that in your path on your growth journey. A lot of us do shadow work, and that's, admirable. But that highlights, I'm not going to say what's wrong, but there's something about like what could be wrong with the world, what's wrong with the relationship, what's wrong with me, what's wrong with this. And it's like shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. But the beauty is also all around, outside, and within you. But spirit is like, look outside. And I feel like that takes us away from reality, but it also gives us a reality check. Some of us need that because you are capable of it. Like you have the capacity as whoever you are and a birthright that is very special. Okay. But looking too harshly or too much into the dark aspects or where the shadow is exposing things, looking at it in a negative light may not be favorable. Okay. Because like I said, the creator of the new earth is looking up and forward to the future. Even if at present things don't seem, how they played out in your mind or how you wanted them to go. I love replenish or quench coming out. And as you can see in this card, the path is paved. So here it's a lot of trees in the forest and it's like sources coming through, but only highlighting, I don't want to say the negativity, but for some, just be mindful of that. Now, I have also had like in my professional life, experiences with like regression therapy, and we have to be here to help others. So some of you guys, the message kind of changes because you could have a purpose or a path in that you have mastered it, like you've done it before. It's a gift that you may have even brought here. So it could be easier for you than it is for others, which is possibly why, patience and how we communicate to ourselves and others is important. But I do see, like I said, this is the road paved. Now, some of us, I don't feel like the road was paved and we just like, it's everything. And I feel like there could be this month some, I don't know, structure in the road ahead. And I think that's actually beautiful. I also see there's not really a lot of color here, just the light and the shadow. But here I see like the fairy sparkles, the color changes. They have like the little chakra colors and everything. Like the trees have leaves on them that are visible. It's like you see better. And even in this card, his garment is kind of like covering his eyes. Even though he's looking up, it's like, well, you can't see nothing or everything look black and white and gray because your eyes are covered. Usually the eyes being covered could be connected to the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is not a bad card. It's a card of using something inside, or the way of seeing something internally when maybe there's an obstruction in the view. Okay. It's like an inner gift. It's using it. It's kind of like my Karate Kid card. When he was having some, popular match or whatever. I don't know how old you guys are if you ever watched the Karate Kid. But there's a really special scene where they were cheating. And then, threw something in his eyes and he couldn't see. And so he reflected back. He had to go within because the great shaman had taught him, what to do. in the moment where he didn't need all of his senses because he had something special. You know what I mean? So a moment came, and it was a really big reward, I guess, and who the champion would be in that match. And yes, he still won with the salt and sand in his eyes because he used his inner ability. Inner ability. Okay, I did say that correctly. All right. Now, I also wanted to point out that there are a few additional special messages before we get to your oracle cards, and I thought that was so cute. If you're into numerology, it starts out with 18. You also have the number 43 and also the number 9. And the number 9 is also connected to the shaman or the hermit. So I think that that's super cool. And 1 and 8 is also 9. Okay, so if you're into that kind of thing, that's something worth pointing out. Now, we start the reading with identity and affirmation. Very important. And just be mindful of any negative self-definitions, okay? Choose an empowering language is what Spirit says. Because words can create your reality. And you have a gift. So how you use your gift, group 2, is very important, okay? Because look at that. We're using our gift because we create this, which is a better world that makes sense and a clear path, all right? I love that because it's kind of foggy. Maybe the past was kind of foggy for some of us, okay? Now, when we get to the creators of the new earth, with his cute little self, for some of you, this means collective evolution. So it's like there's a wave of you guys that may be experiencing certain things, and it's necessary. That way you don't feel alone. Even if you don't notice people or what I'm talking about, just trust and believe that Spirit put a message here, and it says that there are a group of you guys. You are not alone in this. If I have anyone in group 2 kind of like feeling hopeless, and look, you even had the number 9. That was crazy right there. We talked about the 9th house. Now this is in shadow, not gold. Okay. So it's a double-edged sword. And maybe that's also like the 2 of swords, the double-edged sword, because some of us could be not speaking in the highest light and feeling like, oh, things that glitter aren't gold. And, pyrite is like fool's gold. So you could feel negative about your choices and decisions or how the past went, how your life's going, how your choices go. But then also in the actual, the spiritual material of pyrite, it is for amazing things, especially my mystics and those of you that are just like star seeds and are special humans that kind of have different gifts and abilities than, the average person. So I think that that's super cool. Spirit says to contribute your gifts. That's your advice. You can do that. Some of you may not feel valuable in certain areas or don't know how you can help or do. And it's just like your gift, whatever that gift is. So spending time to deep dive into whatever that is may be favorable. Now, a better future is co-created. So here's no one, okay? And then here's you. And then here's your co-creation involves, I feel like Spirit, it involves the divine. You are possibly like a helper for a higher purpose. I do feel like that because you have like the cosmos, and I have other decks too. And this card gives me the energy of like the Cosmo Child. Like your abilities and your gifts range way beyond this dimension. So that takes us to purpose and duty and the actual number 9 that's also connected here. So Taurus is very traditional. And to have like a purpose or a duty when it comes to the Taurus is kind of like the Hierophant. And the Hierophant does have a very like old school, structured, traditional kind of way about it. So that could just be a channel message or a special message for an individual that you're going to feel what I mean. Okay. Now for the collective, a meaningful contribution. So your gifts are a meaningful contribution. But aimlessness is also a shadow energy or the outcome if we don't overcome like the challenges, the negative self-talk, or just not visualizing something favorable for yourself in the near future. The advice is to align choices with value. So it's like, that sounds like it could be common sense. I'm not even going to play with you. But it's not so common sometimes when we're in the moment and we can't really see the forest. Okay. You're smart, you're attentive, you have gifts and abilities, and you can see. Therefore, if you make choices or have people in your environment or do things that are not in alignment with your spiritual beliefs, something may have to change. Now, for a lot of you, that has something to do with money. Some of you may have outdated beliefs that are interfering with your livelihood, because we talked about family, we talked about the ninth house, we talked about Venus, we talked about Taurus. And so here's, I want luxury, I want beauty, I want everything. But then Taurus is like, I'm traditional, I'm modest, I'm restricted because whatever reason. And there could be some challenges there because you're creating the future. And also, we have to think about the past. What was life like? Religiously, spiritually, or just practically? And if you are a creator of the new earth and have traits and abilities as well as gifts that are not ordinary, you don't want to be interfering with the future by negatively holding on to the past. So there's that. Now, some of you, purpose unfolds through service. So it's like if you want to kind of do some shadow work in an area of releasing a limited belief, or if you have it in you, right? Because it's usually in your natal chart and somewhere in your personality and even inherited from early childhood development. If you believe that you have to earn something, then be of service. But if you feel like you have to earn something, but then you want all of these things, and maybe you're not being of service because you don't feel very helpful, or not really, kind of aimlessly trying to figure out how to do that, then hey, here is your solution. And that, just start there and take it one day at a time. All right. So do you get bonus cards? It's kind of like we hooked that up. Okay. I think so. I feel like your light, I don't want to mix it up. So I feel like your light comes from, look, I wanted to say others. Spirit say divine masculine. Okay. All right. That's cute. Let me see what else we got. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That happens now. It's like a change or some sort of transformation that happens through our relationships, group 2. So be mindful of that. There's a special message for some of you about a transformation through a relationship or with a person. Okay. And then we have karmic energy and learning, give and take through that. So Spirit is really just trying to point out, yes, I'm talking to you. Okay. When it comes to the beliefs, when it comes to your abundance, and also your choices in relationships. They're painting a picture and I can't see it, so don't feel judged. Okay. But I don't feel that you're aware of the connection you have or the help that you have, because it has unknown. So I am, and then we have unknown. We did talk about we got Aries, so that could be significant. That's a clue. Okay. And we also have Taurus. That's wild. Okay. I'm so silly. I know y'all got to forgive me. Now, the numerology here is 11. All right. And then it kind of says that there's a mystery and a possibility. Okay. It also points out fear of uncertainty is the shadow work that we're helping with. But then also advising you to remain curious. The unseen holds potential. So this holds potential, and the potential is in the unknown, which we sometimes fear. unknown, and uncertainty. So just be mindful of that. And that sounds good to me. Like what I'm getting from this is kind of like something hasn't unfolded yet. And spirit is like, be curious. Okay. Be open. Well, it didn't even say be open, but I'm just using words based on how I feel because me saying be curious may not be good enough. So I hope so. Okay. Now we have gathering and tribe. And I love when this card comes out because for those of you where I said community and belonging or a purpose, that may be important. But then for some of us, it's the isolation that is either necessary to kind of detach us from the things that the choices and the transformations. Okay. But it also talks about supportive connections. So I think it's important for you to group to supportive connections may be important. Isolation is not an answer. Okay. And it's okay to grow together. All right. Now, this is a very special message for some of you that may be very spiritual, okay, purpose driven, or you have a goal. And then something or someone comes along that may not fit that goal. And then spirit is like, well, you can grow together. That does happen. All right. Especially for my brothers and sisters that are very, if this is love and relationships or even marriage, okay, some of you may have like an ideology for your partner. And sometimes you can miss out when those standards don't come initially. And it's like something that could have grown favorably. You cut it off because it's like, nope, nope, you know? So I don't know. I get both. That's the double-edged sword. I get both of those. So take it how it may, okay? Now we do have beloved and the number 8. And I wanted to also point out most of these cards are definitely connected to my Herman. So my spiritual person that is just in isolation, spirit would like for you to at least try a little bit to connect with people like you. That's going to help a great deal for your services, for your finances, for your personal growth, for your energy. Okay. That may be important. So connect, connect, connect. I feel that could be important. We have beloved and the number 8, which is beautiful because look at the two. I got the two little people at the bottom. And we have the rainbow. So it's like, what y'all got to do with this? And the waterfall. So it does talk about a lot of love or a lot of emotion and from the divine. So I think that that's super cool. The number 8 is usually connected to balance and also strength. Okay, where it's like we're a team, one leads the other. You help me maintain my composure, and the other one is like, well, you help me be brave. Like you make me feel good, and that does happen because here we have someone that usually transform through relationships. So it's like you may like that demographic of togetherness or leadership or a feeling of belonging or a fire being lit or something like that. But what happens when you don't have that? Or is that how you come out of isolation? I don't know. Okay. Because we're going to leave that one right there. Now, we also have embodying compassion, which is important for your purpose or your duty, and seeking externally what must come from within. Be mindful when we set standards. I'm okay with having boundaries and standards. Don't get me wrong. But I also know sometimes in relationship demographics that you want to compensate where you feel you could come up short. So anyone that doesn't truly benefit from your codependency is not an option. You know what I mean? Be mindful of that. All right. For whatever reason. Because you can have whatever you want in this world. I feel that intentions, the why behind is usually what brings about this giver of karma here. So if you're wondering, like, you can't tell us what to do, and I know Keisha did it, and Sam did it. I respect that. But why Keisha did it or why Sam did it may be different from what you're dealing with. So your outcome is dependent on your intention. Okay. We also have love is a state of being. So it doesn't have to be given, it doesn't have to be returned. I say that too. Love is an energy within itself. I connect it to like the spirit of the earth or the Holy Spirit, whatever your beliefs are. And it just is. But a lot of times as human beings, I feel like we miscommunicate what love is. We don't feel love when people make different choices, or we feel love when we're receiving it, but it's not love when it's conditional. But love is just minding its business. It's an element, like water is water. Even if you try to turn it to something else, originally it's just water, and you can't make it. Can't nobody like make fake water. It's just water is water, right? Fire is fire. And air is air. It exists all on its own without human nature. Love is the same way. It did not evolve from our hearts or our human nature. I feel like it is just the divine fifth element itself. Okay. So that's my thing. And since this is at the bottom of the deck, I feel like it was very important for a collective message to talk about this purpose, this journey, my shaman here, decisions, isolation, the unknown, our beliefs, a recalibration. And I don't want to overwhelm the very special message where the quench came in to replenish, and things are going to be more than replenished. So it's like a happy ending. I feel like you may need to hear that it started out really dark. Okay, it lightened up some. And there was time where you may have been alone, but you won't be. Okay. And the path that once had no pavement, maybe you're paving it. So that's why it's important for you to be yourself. Okay. But something gets replenished. So something that isn't here or wasn't there does get replenished. And I think that that's super dope. Okay. Now we're going to get to your zodiac readings. I think I already did, because I don't know how I'm going to fit them in. So if I already did, cool. But this could be a reminder for some of you, if you are Aries, Taurus, or Gemini, that your zodiac readings are up. All right, now for your zodiac readings and special messages for Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. I think Taurus, this is especially for you, so let's stay tuned. But let's start with you guys' horoscope. Now, in general, Aries, July pushes you to slow down, even though everything you want, okay, or want to do kind of involves moving fast. All right. Now, Neptune and Saturn in Aries makes this month an identity recalibration. You're learning the difference between impulse and true calling. In love, you may feel emotionally exposed. Mercury retrograde in Cancer can bring family wounds, past lovers, or old attachment patterns into the conversation. Love improves when you stop performing strength and admit what you actually need. For your soul purpose, Aries, it's being refined through courage, but not reckless courage. Saturn retrograde in Aries asks, are you building a life around your real self or around proving something? For your finances, avoid rushed purchases, especially around the 3rd and 4th of July. Mars Uranus energy can trigger impulsive spending, tech cost, vehicle issues, or sudden plan changes. Later in the month, Jupiter in Leo supports creative income, personal branding, and passion projects. Now, cause and effect. Saturn, Neptune, and Aries plus Saturn retrograde causes self-questioning and identity pressure. The effect is maturity, and you become more intentional, less reactive. Now we have my Taurus. It is your turn. July may feel mentally busy and financially unpredictable. Mars, Uranus, and Gemini activate your money zone, so sudden expenses or income ideas can appear. Chiron in Taurus adds personal healing around worth and self-trust. For love, you need grounded love, not chaos. If someone's words don't match their actions, July makes that obvious. Venus in Virgo later in the month supports romantic discernment and healthier standards. Now, for your sole purpose is to rebuild self-worth from the inside out. You are not here to be chosen at any cost. You are here to choose what honors your peace. For finances, it is a big month for awareness. You may discover a new skill, side hustle, or income stream, but avoid risky financial moves around the 3rd and the 4th. Your cause and effect, Taurus, Mars conjuncts Uranus and Gemini, and it causes sudden financial or communication shifts. The effect is a wake-up call. Modernize your money habits. Now, in general, I would say your energy is shifting. For Geminis, my lovely Geminis, July is electric for you. Mars conjunct Uranus and Gemini makes you fast, magnetic, unpredictable, and mentally overloaded. You may feel like you're downloading a new version of you. For love, you may crave excitement and honesty. Boring dynamics will irritate you. Be careful with impulsive texts, sudden breakups, or saying something sharp just to create movement. For your soul purpose, your purpose is reinvention through voice. Say the true things, but say it with wisdom. Your mind is a tool, not a weapon. Now, for your finances, money is connected to communication, writing, speaking, sales, content, tech, travel, or networking. Mercury retrograde says revise your strategy before launching. Your cause and effect, Gemini, Mars, Uranus, and Gemini causes breakthrough and disruption. The effect is liberation from the stale patterns, but nervous system management is essential. Okay. Now, your collective messages for your zodiac signs include South Node, 6th house, and 7th house. So let's talk a little bit about it. South Node is like the past lives. That information could be useful for something that connects to any tarot message that you've watched through the pickacard or your personal zodiac signs, okay? Some of you could come into this reading by pickacard and actually have a South Node in one of these signs. Now, the knowledge feels comfortable and secure. The things that you embody in the South Node, because you're familiar with it. It may take work and willingness to leave this era behind and move toward the lessons of your North Node. So the bright side is skill, wisdom, comfort, and confidence in specific areas of your life. On the shadow side, outdated and outmoded ways of being, unwillingness to leave the past behind. But for your group in this position, I feel like we're on the bright side with the South Node. Now for the 6th house, it could be looked at as a challenging position because that's usually how it goes for the second card. Challenge doesn't have to be a bad thing. Sometimes we accept challenges to move forward. You know, like challenge accepted, you know, and you got all riled up to do something. But let's see what we have. Now, for the 6th house, it corresponds to Virgo and Mercury. So just capture that in relevance to some things that I've said about the Mercury retrograde, or where it could fall in your chart. But this house is in self-improvement and in service to your day-to-day work. The subject of health is found in these houses. So skills, duties, and responsibilities are crafted with earnesty in this area. Now, for some of us, it's favorable toward that South Node. But in shadow, it talks about a lack of fulfillment in work, enslavement to routine, ill health, and lack of skills. So it's kind of like if you're feeling, you know, not feeling the feels, maybe shaking out of some of that South Node energy, go to your true north. And usually your South Node and North Node are polar opposites or something like that. So just look into that. Now for 7th house, you have Libra and Venus energy. This house deals with one-to-one relationships through deep connection and intimacy. Growth and self-reflection are developed. This can occur within a romantic partnership, but can also occur with other types of important connections. Harmonious and balanced partnerships, intimacy, a healthy sense of relating with others, and bonding. So I feel like a positive daily routine, life improvement, responsibilities, and dedication kind of improve the health. And I feel like a healthy relationship. So for some of you, there could be a healthy improvement with a past situation or person. Now, I noticed the 2 cups here in the heart, so it could definitely be about love. So make sure you guys tune in and subscribe for our July love reading. I do hope that that helps. Group 3, we are about to get started with your reading, beloveds. You guys had the green Aventurine, and also it connects with 4 zodiacs: Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these, okay? So we are going to do the zodiac readings for each sign and tarot and astrology for those of you who did the group 3 pick a card. In addition to that, we're going to start off with a collective message. So if you'd like to jump ahead or swatch to just tarot or just zodiac, look in the description box for these signs, and I'll try to put group 1 and then the zodiac signs instead of just making individuals, because that's more work for me anyway. All right. So let's go ahead and get started first with your zodiac signs. Let's see. We have first up the beautiful water of Cancer. Let me get to your messages, baby. For July, and I have to take out, I'm going to take out 3 cards for your messages. Okay. I'm going to keep solar eclipse and give it a better shuffle, because if it comes back out, it was totally meant for you. But I think because I did do zodiac, I'll keep it in mind. If it's about a relationship, if we start talking about, yeah, it came. That is crazy. Spirit knows. Like, dude, you is not for to do them like that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So was it? Let me see. Don't hate me, y'all. Oh, it was that special message. Okay. There's something about okay. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, wow. That's insane. Because I thought, y'all saw that, right? I thought that, oh my gosh. Okay. I thought wrong. Okay. Wow. There's something significant to the solar eclipse. We're going to get to that. Let's talk about your message first. Okay. Now, for Cancer, July is deeply personal. Mercury retrograde in Cancer makes you review identity, voice, body, image, and emotional needs. You may feel nostalgic, sensitive, and misunderstood, but this is all a reset. For love, past relationship themes can resurface. This does not always mean someone is the one. Sometimes the past returns so you can respond differently. Speak gently but clearly. Your sole purpose, Cancer, is emotional sovereignty. You're learning to care without absorbing everyone else's pain. For your finances, as Jupiter moves through Leo, your money and self-worth sector grows. You may be called to change more or charge more, ask for more, or stop undervaluing your gifts. Now, your cause and effect, Mercury retrograde in Cancer, Jupiter in Leo, causes self-review followed by money, self-worth expansion. The effect is a new standard for how you treat yourself. All right. Next, we have Leos, my very hot fire signs. We're going to start with your July message and love, general, and soul purpose. So for you, Leo, we have something major for you, especially for July. Jupiter is newly in Leo, and the sun moves into Leo a season later in the month. Okay. This increases confidence, attention, charisma, and opportunity. But Jupiter opposite Pluto around July 20th can also expose ego battles and power dynamics. For love, you attract more attention, but not all attention is nurturing. Venus moving through Virgo themes can make you more selective. You may want proof, consistency, and practical affection rather than empty praises. For your soul purpose, Leo, it's a visibility with integrity. So July asks you to shine, but not dominate. The North Node shifting toward Aquarius highlights relationships, audiences, partnerships, and community. For your finances, Jupiter in Leo can expand income through creativity, leadership, performance, beauty, entertainment, entrepreneurship, or personal brand work. Be careful not to overspend to match a new self-image. Cause and effect, Jupiter in Leo plus Jupiter Kazemi, July 29th, causes expansion of confidence and opportunity. The result is a fresh personal cycle, but you must avoid arrogance and overpromising. All right. Now we have the amazing Virgos. For you, Virgo, in July, it's about friendships, network, and your future path. Mercury retrograde in Cancer may reconnect you with old friends, old dreams, or communities you once belonged to. For love, Venus in Virgo brings magnetism, refinement, and self-respect. You may feel more desirable, but also more analytical. So try not to turn love into a performance review. For your soul purpose, your purpose is becoming more relational and less self-critical. So July asks you to serve without shrinking, help without overfunctioning, and refine your dream without abandoning it. For finances, good for improving systems, budgeting, editing, and health-related work. Service businesses and practical planning. Delays may happen, but they help you catch mistakes. And that's a good thing. Okay, delays happening so you can catch something, that's magical. So appreciate that, Virgo. Now, your cause and effect is Venus in Virgo and Mercury retrograde causes review of relationships and plans. The effect is cleaner priorities and better boundaries. Okay. Now, for your messages, we have solar eclipse, 7th house and 6th house. So I definitely feel like love and relationships are involved. I also feel like Virgo and Mercury retrograde has some significance in your lives. Okay. It is also your day-to-day work. Some of you that have service embedded into your day-to-day work, self-improvement, and it also is the subject of health that is found in the 7th house. So skills, duty, and responsibilities are crafted with earnesty in this area. We have competence, skill, vibrant health, valuable work, a positive daily routine. Those could be significant for life improvement. If you feel a lack of fulfillment in work or enslaved in your routine, then there could be some advice within the other cards, okay? Like the 7th house, which corresponds to Venus and Libra. This house deals with one-to-one relationships. So it's us, our habits, our daily life, and there's something about a relationship. So I don't know if it's improving, manifesting, what's causing us to feel a lack of fulfillment, but these houses may be significant collectively in different ways, okay? This can occur within a relationship or romantic partnership or other types of connections, all right? A harmonious and balanced relationship, intimacy, a healthy sense of relating with others, and bonding could be significant for July, okay? Now, you have one of my favorite cards. Not that I have like something, okay, for solar eclipses, which they are fine. I just have always thought that this was one of the most beautiful cards in the deck, and I am so happy that it came out for us today. So, you like to hear about it? Here we go. When I can find it. Let's see what the significance is. A solar eclipse occurs during a new moon. Ooh, so newness is sometimes about letting go. It is a supercharged beginning requiring the release of the old. So if this is done willingly, then vibrant opportunities are in store. It's time to rise to a brand new occasion. We have regeneration and transformation and growth. But be mindful, egotism, we talked about that, stagnation, and repressed emotions. So I feel stagnation is egotism and repressed emotions. So just be mindful where this information came up or what came up for those zodiac signs. Now let's get to your tarot cards. That's so funny. That was beautiful. And I was like, are you serious, man? And it's like, ugh, excuse me. All right, let's see what we have for group 3. We're going to get them shuffled up and talk a little bit about it. All right. Ooh, 2 knights. All right. Just be mindful of that. Ooh, I like this. I don't know why I like this, but we're going to see why I like it so much. And then I'm going to tell you what you have, because I know some of y'all sitting there like, what? Okay. Okay. Just be mindful what we talked about, like the ego and where the mind flows. Also, it's a reminder of delays or not missed opportunities. They're actually blessings in disguise. Okay. And I tried to sit this out. I don't know where I thought I was going with this design, but I don't think the screen does either. Let's see. Okay, for some of you guys, there could be changes in work and also relocation. So here we have, I'm sorry, because some of y'all like, maybe like, tell us what you have. Okay. So here you have the strength card, which could point to August. Some of these are also about timing, so keep that in mind. We have the strength card, the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Sun card, which is amazing. And they seem to be explained, clarified, or emphasized through the 5 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Cups. So I want to say the Sun card is one of the most auspicious cards in the deck. And the 6 of Cups also talks about nostalgia. So for some of you guys, past relationships, high school sweethearts, those of you that had close connections with people, that could come up through the retrograde. And be mindful, those of you that may have had temporary situations or adventures with people in the past, there could be some changes in those relationship demographics, all right? Where someone may have made up their mind or have contemplation about how we move forward or moving in together for your relationships. And I feel like power dynamics could be an issue. Okay. Now, for others, this suggests emotional resilience. Someone may be dealing with regrets, disappointment, or sadness, but the lesson is self-control, compassion, and not letting grief define the whole story. All right. With the Knight of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles, it points to fast movement or decisive communication around long-term security, family legacy, commitment, money, or the bigger picture. Someone may be rushing toward clarity about what they want long-term. Okay. Now with our Knight of Wands and the 2 of Pentacles, it could feel like passion plus instability. There is an attraction, drive, or excitement, but also juggling priorities, uncertainty, or trying to balance 2 paths. So just be mindful of that, because out comes the sun. Okay. Now we have happiness, reconciliation, nostalgia, warmth, possibly someone from the past returning for you, group 3. In addition to that, I feel like there's a situation moving out of emotional heaviness into confidence, clarity, and optimism. And the main cause is the Knight brings speed and intensity. So to this spread is saying, yes, there is momentum and positive potential, but balance and emotional maturity are needed for it to become stable. All right. Now let's see if there's more from Spirit. It's like, oh yeah. Okay. Well, I think there could be some financial challenges or some differences in belief, where there's like traditional versus non-traditional, or there just could be a person that may need extra support when it comes to their personality, if I can say that. Sometimes we have very upbeat optimistics that live in fantasy or just creativity. And then we have others that may not be in a present situation to see, the beauty in things, the glass being half full. Someone in this situation could see the glass half empty, or could be experiencing, circumstances. Maybe you could help. Okay. So I don't know how this plays out, but I know that, see, this lion is giving me why we have the Five of Pentacles and Five of Cups. If you're feeling low because of a missed job opportunity or some changes in the finances, or just sadness from when something did work and it didn't work before, there could be some regrets and sadness. Others of us, it may be regrets about financial choices. And for some others, it could be relationships. So it just depends on how that plays out for you. Okay. I know that there's an improvement. And if it's not wish fulfillment, it just does happen swiftly, very swiftly. We have the Eight of Wands here. So I think where something is like sluggish, slow, blue, I feel like there's an increase in information, money, or just belonging, as well as like family. So for some of you guys, there may be just some quick acting. I feel like if it's not impulse, it's just something about the distance. Maybe someone is even in a rush to come see you. And I don't, just ask your friend, just see what they have going on. See where they are, ask questions. Because like, if this is the energy that's, rushing in because of something they want to manifest, that's great. But you being a healthy addition to them, just make sure well, see, here I am giving advice. I won't give advice. I'll just say there's potential for a situation where something could be blended and this could be great. And I want it now. But where are we coming from? Where is that coming from? Okay. Now, I also have, a definite reconciliation for some of you. This person is absolutely from the past, and I feel like their heart is in the right place. That's a great thing. I don't feel this person is very financially savvy or rich or anything like that, which is okay. But this is a heartfelt relationship, possibly even a past life soulmate or a twin flame. And I don't know why I said that, because that isn't applicable for everyone. When I was like, they ain't got no money. If that's an issue, I think it isn't a big issue, and it's not everybody's issue, but it could be somebody's issue, and I can't leave that little one part out, even though it probably wasn't for the collective. Okay. Balance is required though when it comes to impulsiveness, especially when we're doing a lot or we're juggling. Okay. There could be relationship situations where we're getting out of something because the divine is bringing something else in. So if there is a person that may be juggling jobs or relationships, maybe it's complicated and you have to use your discernment where you want to follow your heart, but Spirit also says follow your intuition. Okay. I just also feel there's like a change in energy for some of us that may not have felt motivated, or you've been struggling with spiritual wars, beliefs, like things that are internal. It's too far to go back, but maybe I got a long way to go. And it's like something happens in the near future between July and August where you've made grand strides. And I love that. And see, look, as I talk about grand strides, it's like your bravery. I do also feel that it's wish fulfillment, or there's some sort of offer coming in. For some of you, it could also be information. 3 nights, we go from 2 nights to 3 nights. There's some sort of alignment or alliance here. And I think that that's absolutely great. That's also what brings things into justice. Okay. So just be mindful that some of us could also have legalities or situations from the past that do resurface. Lights are being shed on things. And it's going to be reviewed. Okay. And it's going to be up for some sort of review. Spirit did not want to leave out the Wheel of Fortune. So for your group, group 3, I think it's really important that we look at our natal charts, because this is destiny. There are some destined things that are happening. And I don't want to, this is my Knight of Cups. I don't know why I saw the Knight of Swords. See, here he didn't have the sword. So see, there's something unexpected. Like you think somebody don't have something. It's like, yes, I do. And I was like, he ain't got no money. And it's like, yes, I do. I got a couple of dollars. So that's kind of cool. 3 nights in tarot. or sometimes very significant. Like I love when I get certain combinations. So it gives me a lot, and it also tells me a lot when I don't see like the last one. But a lot is happening fast, right? It may be rapid developments, messages, shifts, decisions, or emotional momentum picking up. Multiple people are competing energies may be involved. So just keep that in mind that sometimes 3 nights can represent different people, especially if the question for you guys is about romance, social dynamics, or conflict. Okay, where one person is sending all the messages and then another person is just trying to juggle their emotions and stay balanced without being reckless and moving too fast. And then here we are. I think the solution or answer for everyone is just to follow your heart. Okay. Now, restlessness and impatience could be a matter where the nights can be brave and exciting, but they can also be impulsive and inconsistent or dramatic. So just be mindful of that. Now, for this spread, especially since we did have the Knight of Swords with the Knight of Wands that are very intense energies, there could be direct communication, rushing in, truth, or mental urgency. And with the Knight of Wands, passion, attraction, desire, movement, and boldness. So something could be very fast and then gradually kind of slow down. And that's what highlights the intention. Okay, so just be mindful of that. And that does happen, like whether it's something new or something old, something borrowed, something blue, baby. I feel like it comes in fast, but here's the message of how they move. Okay, so it's like fast to communicate, very impulsive. I gotta say this, I want to speak, you know what I mean? Some sort of reconciliation. It's like, ooh, kumbaya. Um, could be very nostalgic communications. That's kind of cool too. Now, if you add romance, there could be an apology or just emotional pursuit. So if it's something new, it's an emotional pursuit. For some of you, if it's of the past, it could be an apology or a love offer. All right. Especially since it's from the Knight of Cups. Now, with our Knight of Pentacles, like I said, being missing, seriousness, patience, loyalty, or slow but real progress is not here. And I don't think that would have been the first thing I went for. If the Knight of Pentacles had come up, I would have been like, oh yeah, well, I guess I would have. I would have said loyalty and patience, but I probably wouldn't have said that it wasn't there. I would have kind of leaned toward it being. So that's something to consider. If there are questions about, others in the environment or as far as like, maybe spirit even wants to like give a pep talk to someone that has been in this energy, maybe have had changes that weren't really favorable. You're being loyal or patient, or expecting real progress could take a little bit more energy than others, at the moment. So spirit is talking about your thinking possibly and making sure that it's healthy and balanced. Some of you guys may receive information from family or back home, maybe that you're at a distance from. And instead of using a lot of fire energy, maybe the resolve is to just take the awareness, and keep moving forward. Everybody facing the future, except for what comes up. It comes up in the present. And the ones that feel like this energy, I feel like that's past energy. The ones who move forward and things speed up for them, this is the whole little kumbaya vibe right here. So there could be a collective message on which responses, which choices, and what energy kind of pushes us in what direction, if this is just like for the collective. Okay. And that is what I have for you, group 3. I do hope that it helped. Okay. My group 4s, you guys chose the red Jasper stone, Pal 4, and the zodiac Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, okay? Which I know a lot about, all right? We're going to start off with a collective message with our astro dice. Then I'm going to do each sign's horoscope reading for the month of July. Then I'm going to do group 4's oracle reading and any channel messages that come through, okay? So let's get started. First with the astro dice. Okay. You have the Sun and Gemini in the 4th house. As a collective, what that means is a sense of home, family, and inner identity. It also talks about your core self being tied to roots, family, ancestry, emotional security, privacy, and the place you call home. You may feel most like yourself when you have a safe base and meaningful home life or a strong connection to your past. Okay, so that could come up in your zodiac reading or your overall oracle messages. So just keep that in mind. Now, Gemini in the 4th house, that's home base, becomes mental communication. And also it's changeable. So communicative and changeable, flexibility in relationships or family demographics. It also talks about you may have grown up in a busy, talkative, mobile, or intellectually stimulating environment. So just imagine that something about group 4, there could be a connection toward home life, family life patterns, how you grew up, how those households were, and what you need as an adult to kind of like feel safe. Now, home may not feel like one fixed place to you, or it may feel like a network of memories, conversations, siblings, relatives, book ideas, or movement. Any of those things could be significant for the month of July. Now, a strong need for mental stimulation at home, a private self that is curious, observant, and hard to pin down, family dynamics involving lots of talking, learning, gossip, movement, or duality could be your July. A tendency to process emotions through words, humor, analysis, or storytelling, and also feeling rooted when you can think freely, communicate openly, and keep life flexible. So, at a deeper level, your identity may be shaped by the stories you inherited, family narratives, childhood memories, and the way people communicated around you. Your life path might involve creating a home where conversation, learning, and emotional flexibility are central. Okay. I can also feel like with this Mercury retrograde, there could be some family demographics and some gossiping. Okay. But we're going to talk about that. Now, let's get to your individual zodiac reads. Because I cannot wait to dive into your message. This is the second time, group 4, that okay, that I actually started with your pal, and it gave me the energy for the entire reading. That happens. Usually, you're supposed to be like, Spirit, what we talking about? Or let's go with group 1, right? Group 4, you're the reason that I'm doing this reading. So your cards are solar eclipse, not surprised. And then we also have Neptune and new moon. So I'm going to talk to you about those after we get through your individual horoscope reads. And you say, why does she flap those cards out like that? I don't know. I may be pulled to make another selection. Okay. There we go. Now, for your zodiac readings, I'm going to go in the order of your crystals. So we're going to do Libra first. Love them, right? Now, Libra's July highlights your career, public image, and long-term direction. Mercury retrograde in Cancer may bring old work issues, bosses, clients, or family career conflicts back into focus. In your love life, the moon's early July Libra influence plus Leo energy later can make you more socially visible. Love may come through friends, events, or community spaces, but career stress can spill into relationships. Your sole purpose is learning balance without people pleasing. July asks, are you choosing peace or just avoiding conflict? Okay. Now for your finances, career review is financial review, basically. So revisit professional agreements, pricing boundaries, and long-term goals. The second half of July can support networking and audience growth. All right. Now your cause and effect, Libra, Mercury retrograde in your career zone plus North Node moving toward Aquarius causes professional reassessment. The effect is a future-facing pivot. Okay. Love that. Moving forward. Now for my beautiful Scorpions. Okay. For the month of July, Scorpio, it expands your career and public life while also stirring deep emotional truths. Jupiter in Leo lights up visibility, leadership, and recognition, while Pluto in Aquarius keeps transforming home, family, and inner foundations. For your love life, you may feel pulled between ambition and intimacy. A partner may need reassurance or may need to admit that success means little without emotional safety. For your soul purpose, your purpose is power with emotional honesty. July asks you to lead without hiding your vulnerability. And for finances, career opportunities can grow, especially after mid-month. Jupiter can bring recognition, but Jupiter opposite Pluto warns against control struggles, risky power moves, or tying money to ego. Okay, so your cause and effect, Scorpio. Leo with Jupiter opposing Pluto in Aquarius causes tension between public success and private transformation. The effect is a demand for aligned ambition. Okay. Now for my Sag, beautiful, beautiful Sag. For the month of July, we have open your mind. Okay. Travel, study, publishing, teaching, spirituality, and long-term vision are activated. You may feel restless because Mars and Uranus and Gemini shakes up relationships and agreements. With love, conversations can be unpredictable. Someone may reveal something suddenly, or you may realize you need more freedom and love. Healthy love gives you room to grow. Unhealthy love makes you feel trapped. For your soul purpose, your purpose is tied to wisdom, truth, and expansion. July asks you to update your beliefs. The old philosophy may not fit the new version of you. With your finances, good potential through education, travel, and international work, coaching, media, or online platforms. Read contracts carefully during the Mercury retrograde. Now, Scorpio, your cause and effect, Jupiter, I was going to say Jello, Jupiter and fellow fire sign Leo causes inspiration and renewed faith. The effect is bigger vision, but Mercury retrograde says review the details before you leap. Okay. Now, for your oracle messages and your horoscope, you guys have solar eclipse, which could be very significant because it did come out for group 2. And these are not by chance. I'll say that I have gone against my better judgment and reshuffled, and Spirit plopped out the same card. So I will no longer say, oh, Spirit, we had that recently or 2 seconds ago. Oh, well. Okay. So you may be attracted to Pal 3 or have a connection to Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Don't know, but we're going to talk a little bit about it. The solar eclipse occurs during a new moon. You literally got the new moon card. So very significant. It is a supercharged beginning requiring release of the old. If this is done willingly, then vibrant opportunities are in store. It is a time to rise to a brand new occasion. So, regeneration, transformation, and growth. Now, because you specifically have the new moon card, the new moon doesn't have to be in Pisces or Sagittarius, but there could be a connection to Neptune. Let's see. Okay, we back on. I don't know how long I was talking before it cut out, but I know that we got through the zodiac reading, I believe. Crap. So I don't know where it cut off. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. We talked about Pluto. We talked about taking flight. We talked about taking flight and leaving a mark. And I feel like maybe Spirit wanted to correct my path. So let's start over. I did talk about not being contaminated. Information, people, places, things that do resurface, or even your own choices or actions in the past did not contaminate your light, and Spirit is asking you to go forward. Some unexpected things could come up and could serve as a reminder, because Pluto does that. So just be mindful, group 4, that you are not contaminated. You are a part of a soul network, not just your relatives or DNA. And sometimes even they like to remind you of who you used to be, things you used to do. We talked about flight, taking flight, moving forward, steady motion, no stagnant. Spirits say take off, keep going, and don't stop. It talks about leaving your mark. So you are like this beautiful rocket that takes off and leaves an impression, I feel, right? And it's because you're connected to, what do they call that? Like, you know how we all connected to the source, right? And so it's like a grid, right? And people use it when they do deep meditation. People use it when they walked across continents to serve a message. It's like if we all come together in prayers, or certain religions do it. Us being connected to that network, basically this card talked about information being shared. Okay. So some of you guys move forward with the information that you want to share, and possibly be mindful to be gentle, right? Or have like a favorable approach or effect, because this card significantly talked about not leaving anything toxic. So even though like I was there, it was there, it not being negative or tarnishing or contaminating, right? Now, where I was when I noticed the mic wasn't working, we were at the Cosmic Network. Is that where it went out? I hope so. And this one talked about, it says, generally we see these people with admiration or adoration, but forget the true meaning of their real message. So it talked about Da Vinci, Newton, Tesla, Dali, Darwin, Buddha, Shakespeare, Chopin, okay, the Dalai Lama, and so on and so forth, even Einstein and Mozart, baby. It said all of these, to name just a few examples, and other distinguished beings who have left their mark on our, oh, that's crazy, on our evolution, has all access the genius available in the energy network. We just talked about leaving a mark, right? And it was like, move forward with this thing, because you probably have that genius in you. And I'm not exaggerating, and I don't fluff or just be saying shit, right? It's what the cards say. And I believe in this message for you. Okay. Now, it says everyone can access the information provided by the energy network if desired. Everything is energetically available for any of us as a tool if we wish to be taken by that energy. Now, I am with y'all, okay? I have asked, to like expand my intelligence, to think of something amazing. And maybe some of you have as well, or you didn't even have to ask. Like, you just know that you got an invention, an idea, or you just figure something out. Because group 4, you are usually like my mystics, or just my evolved like mastery type of people. So this is a message of reassurance. It sounds like, not even an invitation, of your greatness, and to move with that energy, okay? Or to embody it, connect with it, okay? It also says we must not let adoration blind us. Their ambition was to show us discovery of what was already there to be discovered. Everyone is equally able to believe and connect with the information that exists in the quantum field. They have showed us a film which we watch with full concentration before they leave us to become the actors, protagonists of our own reality. Sometimes the challenge is to believe yourself, to be capable and discover what it is that you really want for your life. Of all the available information, which do I want to connect with? What do I want to be? What do I want to do? Do I want what I want to do I know what I want to become? Am I aware of what I'm capable of? So group 4, that's big. So now connecting to those cards, you got an angel number. Okay. It's not even a master number. It's like moves past master to angel. 3333. Okay. Is the card. Now threes are a lot of energy about ascended masters. Okay. So if I amplify ascended master energy, there's a message, and it's possibly a message from the ascended master, because look how it's like ascension, right? So you have gratitude. It's a good time to be grateful for what there is. Now, this message had a lot to do with impulse, wanting to do something, move fast, not be stagnant. I need to do. And I feel Spirit is also saying to keep in mind gratitude, or it's a positive time for it. If a conflict arises when the mind acknowledges a certain behavior and decides to whisper it in our ear, what started as motivation and as a lovely romantic comedy changes halfway through more likely to a thriller movie. Now, all of it generates is constant dissatisfaction rather than motivation. And this leads us to forgetting to be grateful for what is. So some of us are wanting to move forward, wanting change, wanting to manifest, wanting this transformation. And it's like, that's cool. And you may feel like that because it's really close. However, to not switch the energy or get into a different perspective, just look at what is cool, what is working. Okay. Now the next card we had was relativity. And I love this formula because one thing I like about formulas is they're not subjective. The formula is the formula. The only thing that changes the problem and then what the solution comes out to be. But if you learn the formula and just plug in the numbers, bam. What I love about that is we left the information. All you have to do is possibly figure out the formula, okay? Or for others, whatever relativity is, okay? So let's look into relativity, because sometimes it's like a channel message that clicks in my mind with the cards, but I also love to support, because I never used to do this, so it's just a thing that I'm doing. I love to support the creators, artists, and journalists that spend a tremendous amount of time putting these perfect words into the guidebook. So I do both. Now, let's see. I think they're in alphabetical order. I believe. Relativity, it all depends. Okay. Ever-changing systems of reference, shifts of perspective, putting situations and people in the relative context. Ooh, because it did say don't put too much admiration on somebody that you can do what they can do. All right. Ooh, that's good. Putting it in the relative context, like not letting it be too impressionable on you, especially if it's not favorable. Okay. There's some shifts in perspectives. We just talked about that. That's crazy. So relativity refers to the fact that obviously everything is relative according to endless factors. We cannot confirm something without considering its system of reference. So here's a good example. If we say that 4 minutes is not much time, we will immediately come into contact with relativity. For what? Well, we are comparing it to. If we are talking about finishing a race, logically 4 minutes would not be much time. But if we're talking about holding your breath, 4 minutes is an eternity. So how can the same statement be both right and wrong at the same time? Because of relativity. Ooh, that's deep. So y'all just be mindful of that, because this does talk about the impression, but it's like, what is that? How that connects to relativity is a shift in perspective. So what was left behind? Like, how are we perceiving what was left behind? And some of us perceive it as admiration, like they did something great. And then others of us either need to accept, or I can't say need to accept, but there's something in the environment about a connection to some greatness and you, I feel. Okay. That was really good. Okay. So DNA is connecting us with the cosmic network. Okay. Because we talked about Pluto, but we'll still get to is it sidereal space? Because y'all know English is my second language and I will mispronounce things or make up words. Okay. I learn new words every day too. So it's a beautiful thing. Now it connects us with the hereditary information. Everything is about connection and information. So hereditary information, there's some hereditary information I feel that may have been imprinted upon you by maybe some past relatives. I don't know. But here goes. It connects us with the hereditary information and in turn, the transmission of this information. There are ancestral patterns traveling through the quantum field towards us to reveal someone from our own lineage. Okay. Did I read that correctly? Traveling through the quantum field towards us to reveal something or someone from our own lineage. Wow. This can show itself in a positive way, such as the ability to channel hidden gifts and talents in the family or those that had not been able to be shown before, as well as in the repetition of patterns that must be healed as they travel toward us to come to light. So Spirit wanted to make sure we knew, I don't feel like this is a negative impression. So I feel like we can go with the lighter, very much amazing aspect where something or someone will be revealed to you from your lineage, coming to light. Okay. It does say connect with your inner self by taking 3 deep breaths. Look at that. We have 3s there that could be important. So breath work may help in this connection, energy advancement or gift development. I don't know, but it's recommended. Maybe because all this fast motion or this other energy I talked about, who knows? Okay. It also says, if it is something which makes you feel bad, cutting the pattern is the way to heal and transform it. If you feel energy that comes with demonstrable gifts and joy, okay. All right. I don't think that word mean what it sound like. I think it's about demonstrating or something. You know what I mean? Don't trip. Enjoy the qualities that are given to you to bring forward the wisdom in your lineage. This card was literally about forward. So you're to bring forward some information from your lineage. Ooh. Okay. Cellular memory consists of the information which is stored in our bodies, emotional, spiritual, and energy. All life experiences, whether we remember them or not, leave a record in our cellular memory. This is how our body stores experiences that we have and have not lived, as it is also connecting us with information we have received from our ancestors. So this card represents a portal. And for some of us, if we're healing, it just talks about tools, affected cells. I'm not a medical doctor, okay? I'm just telling what it says. It says, I don't know what this means. Affected cells. It says glass. Oh, okay. I was reading too much in it and like trying to protect us from something weird, but it's not weird at all. Okay, great. It says affected cells. So if we're healing lineage, generational things, glass bottle, water, amethyst, induce the healing and take the molecules of water from the bottle that have been in contact with the minerals and your intentions. So I would never recommend ingesting crystals that, water that had actual crystals in them, but they do have water bottles. Because I used to have them when I first started on YouTube in my store, but water bottles that safely have a container and use particular, I don't know how they do it, but don't just go get something and put something in something like the lady said do that. I'm not saying do that, but I do know in the past people use amethyst for help with sobriety and all kind of other things, right? So not just that. But don't ingest nothing crazy. Use your own judgment and be an adult, okay? For others of you to open this gift or this information, it says receiving channel, place the stone in the energy center located between the eyebrows, the third eye, okay? So some of you guys maybe do some along with the breath work, okay? We're going to do some meditations and place a favorable stone. This one talked specifically about amethyst on the third eye. Okay. And then let's talk about it. And I may have just given y'all some game. Now, if y'all invent something and go cray, please come back and tell us. We ain't going to ask y'all for no money. Okay. I promise. But that sounds so cool. Imagine that's all it takes and you go do it and have like some experience. I would love to hear about that. Now, the last card, all right, I ain't gonna hold y'all, is the sidereal space. And I think I keep saying it wrong because Spirit is like not in agreement. Okay, was it extra? Oh, I just thought it was cute. It was like another card. And I was like, well, I saw it. And usually if I see it, honey, that means it's for my collective. But maybe it's not. But now I can't leave y'all guessing. It says... Okay, I see how. Oh no. Okay, it emphasized on portal 333. It says portal 333. So what was that affirmation? Belonging to the stars or planets. There may be something also outside of your control. Now I did talk about that. Like those of you that have transformations and changes in your lineage, family, ancestry, you know what I mean? Like if it's not within you, because it does say outside of you, it says outside of you is outside of your control. And it also talks about that this space specifically is outside of the atmosphere of our planet and beyond our reach. So maybe that's how far away this ancestor is, y'all. But it's a message that we can't control everything and there's nothing we can do when faced with certain things, as there are external factors which exceed our power. So what is it about the portal? I think that's what we were supposed to see. Like nothing else, because we don't need nothing else to pack in our brains. I think I gave enough, right? But the message of 333 is I am completely surrounded, protected, loved, and guided by my ascended masters. So I do hope that helps, group 4, and until next time.